Let's do the news. Yeah, let's make a contract and find out. It's news time, baby. Off to a bad start, friends. Tom's Hardware reports. We've got a recall. Sega Toy recalls cat robots in Japan. Look at this little guy. Look at this fuzzy little kitty. Let's get a clip. There it is. Look at this horror show. The realistic fur is a nice touch, but the reason for the recall seems to be that the same fur burning when coming into contact with the Robo feline's very own engines. Let's list the pros and cons. The pros: hypoallergenic. Cons: they don't meow or purr at you. Major con, though, they catch on fire. Sega advises users who still own the robotic devices to power their cats off immediately. The robots are coming for yet another job. Neandroid. Is that anything? Do Neandroids dream of electric sheep? Is that anything? Space viruses. Mutated strains of an unknown drug-resistant bacteria somehow got onto the International Space Station. Don't worry. A group of mutated bacteria that are thriving under the harsh conditions of space. A human gut bacteria, so no real surprise here. Enterobacter bugandensis. Can you imagine how awful it would be to have like a gut virus up in the International Space Station, though? I don't know what kind of special toilets astronauts use. I assume it's got some kind of like vacuum attachment or something. Probably into a vacuum hose, right? I assume. They usually wear diapers. That does make sense, I suppose. The collection and retention of liquid and solid waste is directed by use of airflow. So yeah, they into a vacuum cleaner. On 420, blaze breaks out a marijuana grow warehouse in Oakland. Thankfully, nobody was hurt. Up in smoke. Send the fire department and nachos. Extra large gullies terrorize UK city with top level boss Seagull swiping Greg's lunches. Okay, that's a very British article. A beefy confrontational seagull has been terrorizing workers in Liverpool city centre, trying to steal food, with one resident claiming the goal was as big as her dog. Top level boss seagull. I ate at a Greg's. Seagull did not attempt to pilfer my chips. What it did do was dive bomb over me and unleash the most gigantic torrent of seagull shit straight down my shirt. It was absolutely horrible. One of the worst animal encounters I've had in my entire life. That thing had it out for me. It was a surgical and targeted strike. I desperately wanted it to come down and try to grab a fry so I could wring its neck. These gulls are out of control. It could happen to you. It could happen to any of us. Bid to secure spot for Glacier in Icelandic presidential race heats up. What if the Glacier was president? I think it'd be pretty chill, right? It's perhaps the continent's most singular presidential bid, as a team of more than 50 people scrambled to secure... Oh, here we go. Snæfellsjökull. A spot on the ballot. Snæfellsjökull. Snæfellsjökull? I'm making a run for it. Man fears for life after finding hidden door in basement that leads to the unknown. He's yet to open the door. The slowest news day for the Mirror on record. The chilling discovery was made shortly after he moved into a new home, where he found a secret room concealed behind a metal cabinet. This is the silliest nothing of a story. Social media users were quick to urge him to investigate further and solve the mystery following his post that included a photo of the mysterious door. However, he firmly dismissed these suggestions. I've seen this movie and I don't like how it ends, so I'm not gonna open the door. Questions posed are always scarier and more interesting than any answer I could get out of it. So that motherfucker is staying closed. As of news date, the door has still not been opened. Oh my God, the suspense is terrible. I hope it lasts. Edging a whole subreddit on this one. Man finds door and doesn't open it. News at 9. Sorry for this cognito hazard. It's just in. Terrible news. Apparently Trump can't stop farting during trial. I'm not gonna get through this one. The jurors have at last been selected and the trial is about to begin in earnest, but there's something not quite right. According to reporter Ben Maeslias of Midas Touch, Trump not only can't keep his eyes open during the proceedings, he also can't contain his flatulence in court. Trump is actually farting in the courtroom. I'm hearing it from actual credible people that as he's kind of falling asleep, he's actually passing gas, and that his lawyers are really struggling with the smell. I can't. How old is Trump? He's like 78 or something, right? And he eats nothing but McDonald's Big Macs. Like, it's gotta be like on a whole new level. The magic of Cursed Castle news. That's right. All the news stories the mainstream media is too sensible to bring. Is this real? It is. There's so many tweets about it. Several reporters told me while he slept he would fart loudly and then grunt and move. They just said on MSNBC that Trump is farting in the courtroom and his lawyers are really struggling with the smell. Oh, God. Can you hold somebody in contempt for farting too noxiously? Is my question. I'm gonna lose it. A gag order and a plug order. Jesus. Once again, Republicans refuse to regulate their methane emissions. Jesus. So clearly people were having a field day with this one. I can't believe I got through this story. I desperately need to hear a judge like reprimand him for ripping one. If I had to read this, you have to read this. Palate cleanser. Let's hear about the weirdest things people have left behind in their Ubers. Frontal hair toupee, hot sauce, and a breathalyzer. 2 containers with spiders in them. A tray of meat pie. You want seagulls? This is how you get seagulls. A candle that says "See you in court." Waist beads and a burrito steamer. A small box containing a gnome. Do not open. A fake butt. A WWE Championship belt. The dancing cartoon cat that says Spanky Fest on it. How many bathrooms have Neanderthals in the tile? And other questions I never stopped to ask myself. A Reddit poster finds an ancient jaw in his parents' new travertine. It may be more common than most people imagine. Go check your tile. Look at that. No dying allowed. Between mainland Norway and the North Pole lies the remote town of Longyearbyen, where for the past 70-odd years, dying has been prohibited. It's one of the coldest places. Their frosty climate means that dead bodies do not rot in the extreme cold. Residents become scared of diseases spreading when they notice the bodies weren't decomposing. And for good reason. Spanish flu was recently detected on corpses buried over a century ago. So now I can kind of see their thought process a little bit. To stop this from happening, no one is allowed to die locally. Just don't. You feel like you're gonna die? Don't. It's illegal. Christian men's conference descends into chaos over sword-swallowing acrobat. A Christian men's conference that took place last week took a bizarre turn after preacher and spiritual abuser Mark Driscoll accused organizers of effectively putting on an ungodly strip show. Let's watch the performance real quick. Takes off his jacket. It's a very cool jacket. Approaches a pole, and this is where Mark Driscoll starts to get a little uneasy. Display your sword, flourish it. Okay, he licks the sword, which I do think is a fairly bold move. The crowd kind of goes wild for it. Oh, and then bottoms up. And in she goes. This is a professional. This man knows what he's doing. Do not try this at home. I wonder how the sword tastes. Do they lubricate their swords? I assume it tastes like lubricant. Now it's time for the prestige. And down he goes. Woo, look at that. And he stops right before he plunges that thing straight through his body. This guy had a whole hissy fit about it. Saw this man do an incredibly impressive bit of acrobatics and death-defying stunt. And this guy was like, we just saw a strip show. Go check out the 2023 Stronger Men's Conference opener. America! Roll out the tanks for Jesus. Finally, some good f***ing news. A 65-foot-long confetti shooting hot dog will take over Times Square this April. Finally. The 65-foot-long Frankfurter is equipped with hydraulics to blast confetti over one of the busiest pedestrian areas on the planet. Who wants to go get sprayed by the giant wiener, huh? Installations and immersive experiences. Oh my God, is it going to be a hot dog version of the Willy Wonka immersive experience to inspire serious talks, playful performances, and political debate? I'm sure this is going to inspire some really introspective political debate. Nothing like being blasted with confetti out of a 65-foot-long hot dog to get me really thinking about the serious questions of life. It serves as a play on American patriotism's hypermasculinity and showmanship. Okay. How does the confetti bursting from a 65-foot hot dog do that exactly? Hot dog eating contest with Nathan's Hot Dogs? Is Kobayashi coming back? Bring back Kobayashi. Free him. Free Kobayashi. Hashtag free Kobayashi in chat. Kobayashi did nothing wrong. I think we're actually done. Oh, thank God. God, what a journey it's been. We've laughed, we've cried, we've imagined things that we never should have had to imagine. And I'm sorry for that. I promise to do better going forward.